The studio lights were blazing, the countdown hit 0, and millions of viewers across the country leaned forward. No one knew it yet, not even the crew, but in the next 20 minutes, a moment was about to unfold that would explode across the internet. Clips, memes, reactions, debates. And at the center of that storm stood Sonny Hostin, breathing sharply as Greg Gutfeld leaned into his microphone with the calm smile of a man who knew exactly what he was about to unleash. What happened next didn't just break the internet, it rewired the audience's trust. It exposed something deeper, something raw, something people felt but never dared to say out loud. The tension began earlier that morning, long before the cameras rolled. Sonny arrived with a sense of irritation she couldn't shake. She had spent the previous night scrolling through comments, tweets, attacks, people calling her biased, rigid, selective. She hated that word, hypocrite. It echoed in her head like an alarm she couldn't silence. She walked on set promising herself she would control the narrative today. She would dominate the discussion. She would not let anyone corner her again. But fate had different plans. Greg Gutfeld sat across from her, calm, collected, sipping his coffee like he was preparing for a casual chat. Except he wasn't. He had come with notes, receipts, and something even more dangerous, confidence. Tyrus sat beside him, quiet but observant, his massive presence filling the room. He wasn't a man of many words, but when he spoke, people listened. As the red light blinked on, the debate started harmlessly. A political issue here, a social disagreement there. But beneath it all, a storm brewed quietly. Sonny interrupted aggressively. Greg smirked. Tyrus raised an eyebrow. And it was that eyebrow, the subtle sign, that hinted the explosion was seconds away. Greg finally leaned forward. "Sonny," he said, his tone soft but sharp, "you keep preaching accountability, but what about your own contradictions?" The air froze. Sonny blinked hard. "What contradictions?" She fired back instantly. And that was all Greg needed. He calmly retrieved a stack of printed quotes, statements Sonny had made over the years, statements that clashed with the very opinions she was defending today. He didn't yell. He didn't attack. He simply read them, one by one, letting the facts speak for themselves. The studio became so silent the hum of the ceiling lights felt loud. Sonny felt heat rising in her face. She could feel millions watching, judging, waiting. She felt her chest tighten as old insecurities clawed at her. She wasn't just fighting Greg. She was fighting the version of herself she didn't want to admit existed. Tyrus added softly, almost sympathetically, "We all change opinions. But pretending you didn't, that's where people lose trust." It wasn't a punch, it was a truth. Sonny swallowed hard. She wasn't used to being the one on defense. She wasn't used to feeling exposed. Her voice trembled as she said, "I'm human. My views evolved. That's not hypocrisy." Greg nodded politely. "Then just say that. People forgive honesty. They don't forgive double standards." The comment hit her like a direct blow. She had spent years fighting to be right, to be strong, to be untouchable. She never allowed herself to look weak. But at that moment, she felt more human than she ever had on TV. The producers signaled commercial break, and the second the cameras cut, Sonny exhaled shakily. "Why would you ambush me like that?" she whispered to Greg, her voice breaking just slightly. Greg surprisingly softened. "Sonny, I didn't ambush you. I held a mirror. It's up to you what you do with it." She turned away, eyes glistening, not from anger, but realization. For years she worked in a world where being wrong felt like being destroyed, where vulnerability was a luxury no one could afford. But now she saw something different. Maybe the world didn't need perfection. Maybe it needed authenticity. The show resumed, and something surprising happened. Sonny didn't fight back. She didn't argue. She didn't shout. Instead, she took a deep breath and spoke from a place she rarely allowed herself to show. "You're right," she said quietly on live TV. "I have contradicted myself in the past. I am flawed. I make mistakes. And I think, maybe I've been too focused on winning instead of listening." The audience was stunned. Greg paused, impressed. Tyrus nodded with respect. In that moment, viewers across the country didn't see a political figure, they saw a human being finally stepping out from behind her armor. The segment ended not with an eruption of anger, but with a moment of honesty that shook everyone in the studio. And ironically, That moment, her vulnerability, became the clip that went viral. People didn't share it to mock her. They shared it because they related to it deeply. After the show, Sunny sat in her dressing room staring at her reflection. She realized she had a choice: keep hiding behind her persona, or grow from this moment. She chose growth. Greg knocked gently on her door. "Good show," he said. Sunny managed a tired smile. "Thanks." For the mirror. Tyrus added with a grin, "Welcome to the human race. We all mess up." Sunny laughed softly, the tension melting. For the first time in years, she felt lighter. And that's the unexpected lesson the world took from this viral confrontation. Being exposed doesn't destroy you. Pretending to be perfect does. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is admit you're still learning. And that's why this story kept people watching till the end, why they commented passionately, why they shared it everywhere, and why thousands hit the subscribe button. Because deep down, everyone is looking for a reminder that even in a world full of noise, truth still matters, and humanity still wins.